when was the last time you were allowed to make a mistake without any consequences? I was probably 10 and cute enough to get away with it. But that's pretty rare because real life doesn't give us much room for trial and error, right? We're expected to get things right the first time, get things perfect the first time, without ever having a safe place to practice beforehand. And because we don't know how people are going to respond to us and our actions, we wait and wait for that right moment to strike, or we play small and conform. And in some cases, we count ourselves out altogether. But what if you knew that you would be met with zero judgment and full support? How would you move through the world then? That's what play gave me through improv, which at its core is unscripted play. You start with nothing, it's a blank slate. There's no script, so there's nothing to compare it to. There's nothing to get right. It's all about saying yes and. Saying yes to what's presented in front of you and building on it. It's basically making something out of nothing. And I want to show you what this looks like rather than tell you, because it's a bit more powerful. I have a lovely volunteer who I just met, who I don't think has ever done improv before. So this is very exciting. Welcome to stage, Jimmy. So we are strangers, but we are going to tell you a shared story about a shared experience together, one line at a time. So the way this works is I'm going to give you the first line, and every line that follows is going to start with yes and. Yes. Okay, so are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So remember the time we adopted a puppy?
Yes, and he was almost dying.
Yes, and we walked in the day they were going to get rid of it.
And I started laughing.
Yes, and it started to twiddle its tail every time you started laughing and started coming to life again.
Yeah, we decided that
Yes,
we needed
and.
someone. Yes, and we decided to go see someone.
We started to what?
To go see someone.
Yes, and we took the puppy into the car and we rushed to the best hospital in town.
Yes, and then we had a big accident.
Yes, and we managed to save that puppy because who cares about the car?
Yes, and I broke my leg.
Yes, and that puppy licked you out of all that fear and depression, and we'll end that there. Okay. That's improv. That was how was that though? Was that good? Yeah, so why was that good? It was because, well, you've never done improv before, right?
No, not that I know of.
But you did a great job because together with eye contact and the intention to build, we were able to tell the story. Yes, the puppy was dying. Yes, we got into an accident. Yes, it was the worst day that Jimmy's ever had. But that puppy, we saved a puppy and the puppy loved him. And neither of us was, well, we were a little worried, but not really worried about giving or receiving the perfect offer because in this artificial space we created, we were following the rules of yes-anding whatever came our way. We're going to play a bit more. I want to try a variation on this. This time, we're going to say yes, but instead of yes, and.
Okay.
So same thing. I'm going to give you the first line of a new story. And yes, but, finish the sentence. Yes, but, finish the sentence. We'll go a bit more.
Perfect.
Okay. Remember the time we went on vacation?
Yes, but I forgot my passport.
Yes, but thankfully you bribed the airport security people.
Yes, but she was a little awkward.
Yes, but you worked your words and you gave her some Toblerone from duty free.
Yes, but you know me, man. I'm a smooth operator.
Yeah, we'll end that there. Yeah, that worked. Okay, so how was that? That worked out. It was, you were all laughing because again, nothing was done with bad intention. It was done, it was playful. We would never bribe anybody who's at the border. But it flowed a little less easier than the yes and that's because the but, it causes this, it's contentious, right? It causes a bit of friction, but it still moved forward. I want to try one final variation with you. This time, we're not using yes and, we're not using yes but, we're using no but.
No but.
Okay, so remember the time we went to try that new restaurant down the street?
No, but you know, that time my belly started hurting.
No, but I made reservations for us like months in advance.
No, but I don't like tacos like that.
No, but I wanted to make you like tacos because they're like the best finger foods.
No, but you're kind of making me feel a little bit anxious right now.
Oh my God. Okay, well, pause that there. How was that? How was no but? Yeah, I don't think either of us, none of us went to eat. None of us ate that night. No one got in the restaurant. I don't think we'll ever hang out and get a meal together.
No, but I wasn't satisfied anyway.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's talk about it. Yeah, thank you. Give a round of applause. You give each other the thing. Cool. I know, I was like, you know what? I don't know what's gonna come my way, so I gotta be ready for it. So let's talk about it. So yes and helped the story flow beautifully, even though there was a dying puppy and a car accident and everything. Whereas it was much easier to watch than yes but and no but they were all playful because they were done with the intention to play. This was a safe space for that. But this is also because yes and creates momentum, whereas yes but creates resistance, and no but, it's just a full shutdown. We didn't go anywhere with that story. And the funny thing is, myself included, many of us, we are big yes butters and no butters in real life, because it's a one way for us to protect ourselves and protect our contribution and maintain control of the narrative or of what we're trying to build. We've been taught resistance from such a young age. We're constantly hearing the word no growing up. And sometimes we fear rejection, or we've rejected things and ideas, so neither party embraces the offers or gives more generously, right? Or we think we can make somebody else's idea better because it's not good as is. And then we end up cutting ourselves off from connecting with people or building something or sharing an idea, or the possibility that what Jimmy and I could build is actually a better story than we both expect. But when we expect a yes and, when we believe we will be supported and embraced, we give more generously and we stop editing ourselves. We're far more likely to take risks. We're far more likely to try something new or share our best idea. We're just looking for the green light. An example of this in real life is Canada's early stage entrepreneurship rate. It's currently at 18.2%, which is one of the highest in the world. And to me, that suggests it's in part because when people embark on this entrepreneurial journey here in Canada, they're doing so knowing that they have full support of programs and resources and incubators in place to support them to take the leap. And it's the same thing with dating and human connection. A 2018 study found that when we pick up on a vibe, or there's a semblance of interest, like eye contact or smile, or just a vibe, people are more likely to make a move. When we sense a yes, we make moves. I never made moves. I lived in my little box with my little rules. I did everything I was told. I just never took up space because I didn't know how. I never felt ready. I never felt like I had permission, so I counted myself out from the beginning. I didn't even try. Until I took my first improv class 15 years ago. And for 2 hours a week, it felt like I was coming up for air from my actual life. I was allowed to be bold. I was allowed to experiment and make mistakes and fail, and we would talk about it, or we would build on the ideas, and it was fun, and it was comedy, and I was laughing all the time. And I found myself immersed in this creative flow state that I never experienced before. It wasn't about being funny or quick or smart. It was just about being. And because I felt seen and heard and supported, and I was given the space to try things, I began to slowly show up as someone I didn't know I could be. And it felt great. And I got so serious about play. And the best part was that there was no homework. There was no prep. There was no scripts. It was just about being present and receptive and responsive. And improv gives us that space that's psychologically safe. Failure isn't punished. It's part of the design of improv. It's actually expected. We build on mistakes. And because I was given the space to fail, and because it didn't affect my regular day-to-day outside of those walls, I let myself try things I never would try in real life. To this day, I don't know how to ride a bike. But on stage, I've ridden many bikes. I've driven cars. I've steered submarines. I've flown spaceships. And the funny thing is, in those moments, my brain and my body don't actually know the difference. And I want to show you what that feels like right now, just in your seats. I'm going to give you a guided visualization, a bit of improv physicality. You may close your eyes if you want. You don't have to. But I do want you to use your hands. Okay, so I want you to imagine that you are holding your favorite mug, whatever that looks like. Maybe it's from Canadian Tire, like a simple one, or it's from like one of those like one-of-a-kind pottery studio things. And I want you to feel the base of it. It's empty right now. Feel the shape. Maybe there's a handle. Now I want you to imagine that it is filled with your favorite hot beverage. It's not going to burn you. It's the perfect temperature. So I don't know, that's coffee or cider or tea. And obviously it's a bit heavier, and I want you to feel the heat through the mug. Now you're going to bring that mug under your nose, just close to your face. And I want you to feel the heat and the steam hitting your face. Maybe it fogs up your glasses. Maybe you can smell the aroma of whatever's in the cup. Now you're going to take one big swig. And I want you to feel that liquid go down your throat all the way to your stomach. And you may gently place it beside you or throw it over your shoulder. By show of hands, who could kind of feel the weight and the heat and the steam of the mug? Okay, that's the power of the mind-body connection. Our body and our brains can respond to something imagined as if it's real. Athletes use this. It's something called mental imagery. They use this for peak performance. Michael Phelps, who's an American Olympic swimmer, used to play the tape. That's what he called it. And he would use positive and negative visualization during practice and pre-performance to better prepare for the best and worst case scenarios at his swim meets at the Olympics. And he has 23 Olympic gold medals. And a study published last year actually talks about how vivid mental imagery can activate the same neural pathways as actually performing the task, which is why even for one moment, that mug, that hot beverage felt real in your hands. Improv taps into this because when we play, we're strengthening our lateral and critical thinking. We're imagining something that isn't real and responding to it as if it is. We're taking on these characters and these roles and taking on these emotional truths and new realities and walking through worlds. And all of these things, they don't exist, but we're also imagining problems that don't exist and possible solutions to them. Improv keeps us in touch with what could be. It's actually very, very impactful. It's not silly at all. It's serious skill building and it's incremental. It's just disguised as fun. Because if we don't explore these what ifs, if we don't explore the ability to make different choices when presented in different situations, we lose touch with our creative problem solving. And then we stop imagining how we can show up or how we can contribute or how we can connect when we're faced with uncertainty. When I let myself play with uncertainty, I was able to rehearse courage. I got to simulate risk, and I was able to really train that creative flexibility. And I am so passionate about this because I'm living proof that it works. For most of my life, I was painfully shy. I would talk to the floor more than I would talk to people. I sound different. I look different. I'm a big introvert. And I have a very naturally hairy face, so I never wanted to be perceived by people, let alone on stage in front of a crowd or on camera. And I didn't work towards a creative career. I didn't even go to theater school, and I didn't know a single person growing up who did the arts or performance. It was all science and tech and all that stuff. But then I pressed play, and I opened myself up to the unknown. And the unknown is so scary and so uncomfortable. You saw what happened with Jimmy. I'm like, oh my God, this puppy. But the unknown is also where possibility and real growth exists. It's where you're going to find your next big idea. It's where you're going to make that unexpected connection. It's where you're going to stumble on that opportunity you didn't even see coming. I didn't know that that one improv class in 2010 would change the course of my life and lead me to like a career in performing and acting and writing and teaching and even marketing. And I didn't know that moving to Canada on my own would mean that for 11 years I wouldn't see my mom and she would miss all of these chapters. And once again, I hesitate to share this one because I'm in the unknown once again. But it tracks what I've been saying. I definitely didn't know, that after getting laid off from my job that I loved in January of this year, come June, I would be standing on a stage giving a TEDx talk. And I don't know what's next, but I'm open to it. It's a surprise for you and me. But real life isn't designed to let us test out our instincts and behaviors and the resilience that we need first. But improv is designed for that. Improv gave me the space to rehearse real-world bravery and make decisions in a make-believe setting before the stakes were high. And I didn't have to have it all together or be ready with anything to try. I could simply just show up and play. And improv continues to challenge me to give up control and respond to situations, but it's also given me a tangible, valuable skill set that I can return to any time I need to perform or lead or write or speak to a crowd of people. That's the power of play. And the truth is, we don't play enough, but when we do, we open the door to new experiences we never saw coming and to who else we might become. Thank you.